Hey, guys, out to these fellas here, your voice manager. Super excited to be closing out this series with my little brother. He's kind of taller than me, but he's my little brother. And knowing all of the things that he's been able to do in business and in life, just being really proud of him and seeing these things. But of course, also knowing the impact that his family has had on him, and that's why it's going to be such a great conversation when it closing out this whole Boys to Men dad series for the month of June. Oh man, make sure that you get a pen and paper. I know he's going to drop some gems. I think every time I've heard him open his mouth, he drops gems. So with that being said, hey Shannaan, how are you?
Hey, Altavis, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for saying yes to being a guest in this series.
Oh, no, my pleasure.
Let the Speak Easy podcast listeners know a little bit about yourself, and then we'll dive into today's topic.
Okay, so my name is Shannaan Dawda. I'm born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, currently still in Atlanta, Georgia. Author from Paycheck-to-Power, CPA, financial educator, also a personal trainer now, really just making an impact, keynote speaker, all those things. It's really just giving all the gifts I have to the world before my time is up. That's what I like to say.
Now, it's interesting because we had a mutual friend that connected us, and we've been connected maybe about 3 years or so. It might be even a little longer than that, but I've watched him do some significant things in his business, going from paychecks to power, and then the podcast and the books and and then the teaching curriculum at the school. Like, yeah, I could give you his whole bio. I'm not a speaker. I said he's my little brother. Just hold your horses, ladies. But with that being said, Shannaan, what is a dad story that has really made an impact on your business?
Oh, man, that's a good question. So, man, that's deep. So, just growing up and watching my dad in general, I think set the foundation for me because everybody graduates high school, the thing is to go to college, get a degree, cool. But even when I started my career in corporate, it was a couple of years into that I had started getting this itch and I think it's because of my dad being an entrepreneur my whole childhood. He was a taxi driver. He was his own, contracted under a company, right? So you're renting the taxi cab's name, but you're your own boss, right? And so he went through that route. Then eventually he upgraded and left the taxi industry and started his own limousine company. So here I am, a young black boy, watching my father be his own boss my whole life. And so I think when I got to the point where I couldn't deal with office politics anymore, I was debt free. It was just like this itch of I want to go do more and really impact people the way that I want. And what's crazy is that I presented the financial education, the financial literacy, because I was working at a CPA firm and they had a wealth management division. So I presented that to them like, hey, there's a really wide open market where we could start doing financial literacy and education and build up clients so they can have the wealth to invest with this company. And they were not hearing it. They're like, this is not our segment. That's not what we do. We manage people who are already net worth of 2 million and up. And so I was like, well, you got a whole bunch of people who are trying to get to that level one day, and they need to be educated to show how to do that. And so eventually I ended up leaving to start my own thing. But that confidence of seeing my dad being an entrepreneur and knowing that my grandfather was also an entrepreneur, it was just kind of like, this is in my blood. Like, I got this. I've seen them go through the struggles. I can figure it out, right? And so I think that just having that example of a father, navigating his way through the entrepreneur challenges and being his own boss kind of helped me also have that confidence to step out and not be afraid.
Now, you made a statement that really stands out. And I think because I know you, I can say this statement that you embody, you are the definition of being the example.
Oh,
and
wow.
Even transitioned and added this new piece with the fitness and personal training. You've been the example. You've been at the front of the class. You've been the one that, you're going to see me work as hard as I'm working you. So with that being said, have you ever had a moment where you did not have that same sense of I'm going to be at the front so that way I can lead you guys. I don't want to be, lost in the crowd.
So I guess the in terms of like the first time I jumped out and started my own entrepreneur endeavors, with like the whole financial education and financial coaching, I think that was the time where, even though I was confident enough to make the jump because financially I was okay, the entrepreneurial confidence was not there, right? It was something new. I'm leaving corporate. I'm starting my own thing, and so what I learned is through the journey, though, that's where the confidence came. So I might have been the financial person just giving advice on social media or posts here and there, but it was like the confidence of, oh, I know what I know I can help people didn't come until I actually help people. Does that make sense? So that's when I was like, okay, now I can really be in the front leading this industry, because I've seen people pay off $2 million worth of debt just from all the clients that I work with. But before, it was like, is this really going to work? Is this really going to help people? But it's still like believing it enough that it's going to work, but I didn't have that confidence I'm gonna lead from the front until I actually led and started helping people do it. Does that make sense? It's kind of like you don't feel like you're confident enough to lead other people until you've gone through the fire itself, and then you're like, okay, now let's all y'all come follow me. I've been through it. Let's do this.
Yeah, that's significant for me because one of the things that, especially when I first started, was telling people that, we're kind of in this maze. And every significant thing in our life, every pivotal moment is this maze that we go through. Mm-hmm. And when you get to the end of the maze, you have an option. The option is, do I move forward and act like the maze never happened? Or do I go back and get those people the ones that didn't make it through the maze, the ones that were still in the starting line, the ones that, were crouched down in a corner because the maze just seemed like it was so much? Do we go back and be that person to say, hey, I know how to get out of the maze, let me help you? And honestly, there's more people that say they want to do it than there are that actually do it.
Right. Wow, that's a great way to put it. And that's honestly how I've lived my life financially. I went through it, got out of debt, and I'm gonna go show other people how to do it. And now with this fitness space, there's been so many people who've been misguided or who have not had the right accountability or the right people in the trainer industry for the right reasons. They're there for the money instead of really helping people. And so you're right. Like I've been there. So let me show you how to get there so you can get there. I love it. I love the maze analogy. That's awesome.
So now I want to finalize it with this. Because, again, I know you, so I've seen the journey. I've been the cheerleader on the side with the sign. But in your own words, what is the fingerprint that you want to leave on the next generation? Like, I know that you have, nieces, nephews, little cousins that you're like, you know what? I know that they're looking at me the same way that I was looking at my father and grandfather. What's going to be that legacy? What's going to be that thing that you're saying to them? Listen, I don't care whatever else you do. Make sure this is a staple. This is your cornerstone.
Wow. So I would, that's deep. I would say, in terms of the fingerprint, like leaving the legacy, I would say for the next generation that it's important. Like the number one thing is that they learn to be uncomfortable with being uncomfortable, right? Because the entire process is always there's change. Like I was telling a friend yesterday, change or difficulty or challenges are a part of life. And so when you embrace that it's always going to be uncomfortable, you no longer freak out when change happens. You no longer get discouraged when something fails. You're like, okay, this is part of the process. Let me keep pressing forward, right? And so a lot of people will just give up when, things get tough. Because even me, like a financial coach, all the stuff, I face challenges all the time. And people on social media might think my life is just easy and breezy. But no. I face challenges just like everyone else. But the difference is, and I guess one of my personality traits is that I'm stubborn, but the good thing about being stubborn is that you don't turn your back when it gets hard. You're like, all right, I'm going to get through this wall one way or another, right? And so I think it's really important to, get comfortable being uncomfortable and keep on pressing forward. As long as you believe in something, it's possible, but you just have to keep on pressing.
That part, you gotta have that I gotta do this. I gotta make it happen. If I got to crawl across the finish line, then I'm gonna crawl across the finish line, but I'm gonna make it.
Absolutely.
I love it. So, Speakeasy podcast listeners, again, you guys know that there's a reason why I've brought you some phenomenal men who are doing amazing things throughout the world. Their stories are significant. Their voices are very powerful. And I want you to get an understanding that each and every one of them is someone that you can reach out to, is someone that you can connect with, is someone who wants to see you succeed. I am would I say a student? I guess I was a student. I am a student. Sis paid off her student loans this year in the midst pandemic.
Congratulations out here elevating in the pandemic. Go ahead then.
Okay. Out here going hard and that, making sure that I did not stop was the man, it was definitely the catalyst for it. Just, you got to do it, whatever, by any means necessary. So while every other person was comfortable, I couldn't be comfortable. And so, invested in my shirt to make sure you knew that I was, come on, getting debt.
I know that's right.
That's 1,000 that'll be taken care of this year. But it's been significant because, again, you continue to be the example. So I want to say thank you publicly, which is why I wanted this to be, to end it out with this. Speakeasy podcast listeners, don't just give a platform for our men's voices to be heard. Thank them. You may not take their class. You may not sign up for a program. You may not read their book, but thank them, because even when I look at everything that's been going on, man, I've been like praying over you guys. I've been like, speaking positivity, sending stuff y'all way, because I'm just like, I know what happens when you have a strong voice that is no longer being heard in the world. And I never want that to be the case. So, but I wanted to make sure that I publicly thanked you, and that was why I stretched you out to get you on the show.
But no. Thank you though. Thank you for this platform. Thank you for the space. Thank you for the support. It's very much appreciated, especially during these challenging times. As brothers and sisters, we need to definitely support each other all the time. We all we got, and that's real.
Most definitely. So Shannaan, let them know how they can reach out to you if they're like, okay, I'm ready to get debt free, or I see you doing this 0 to 100 jump rope challenge. Those of you who follow me on social media, this is the organizer that around the world jumping rope, trying not to pass out. This is the person that is doing it, but also he embodies just making it happen and getting to the goal. Shannaan, let them know how they can reach you online and where they can find out more information about your services.
Absolutely. So you can go to, if on Instagram, go to from paychecks, the number 2 power. That's where you can find out everything about my financial services, the have daily motivation, things of that nature in terms of getting out of debt, getting your finances in order. You can follow me personally at Shannaan Dawda, my name, which will be in this description. You can follow me there. You see all of my life, the fitness, all that other stuff. And the jump rope challenge as well is in the Washington Post this month, so I'm excited. So we're making a lot of moves. You can also visit my website from paycheck-to-power.com if you're looking for more financial stuff there too.
Oh my goodness. Speakeasy podcast listeners, thank you so much for each of you that have tuned in, those who have given great responses to the conversations that we've had on the podcast. We absolutely appreciate it. But guess what? Continue to join the conversation, bit.ly/World Voice Community. Join the free Facebook group. We would love to hear from you guys. And until next time, guys, don't forget to press it out. See ya.